I was in a meeting and I literally on June 17th of 2007, I went, this business plan is going to absolutely die if I try to go implement this now.
Just to kind of share your journey, how many iterations did you do before it got to the trusted toolbox?
I love it. All right, I'll tell you. So, number one, I was going to start a community bank. And I realized I really don't know anything about banking. And I didn't really know much about the community I lived in because I was always traveling outside of it. Second, I was going to go buy a manufacturing company that was supplying parts to the automotive industry, which was my 17-year-old self's goal that said by the time I'm 35, I'm going to run a machine shop that provides parts for the automotive industry. Looked into that business, did the NDA, looked into it, found out they were a sole source supplier to a assembly plant here in Atlanta that I knew because I know people who were working General Motors was about to get shut down. So that one went down the tubes. Then I went and looked at another opportunity to get into consulting, get back to IT consulting, what I had come from, and do process consulting, looked at that model, and then started to say I just didn't really think that was it. At that point, I was starting to get a little discouraged, and I said, okay, I got it. I'm going to go off and be a real estate developer and construction guy. And this is in 2007. By the way, I have no experience in it at all. And I said, I'm going to do this and start working on the business plan.
But what was influencing that decision? Were you watching a lot of HGTV or CNBC specials?
Yeah. And then I had a buddy who was going to grad school and he was real estate development. He had these great ideas. He and I worked together at Accenture. I was like, yeah, good idea. We're going to put these things together. I'm going to do all these things I had never done before. And I'm going to go make a business doing it. Built a business plan. But where I was at the bank at the time was where I got to see what was happening with the real estate market in 2007. And to timeline everybody, remember in 2008, that's when it went down. So we started to see the cracks in 2007 because of where I was sitting. I was over the reporting arm as well as the commercial loan ops folks, and the reporting arm was saying, hey, we're having some problems in real estate, but it's not happening here, but not Atlanta, but maybe it might. And then the next thing I know, I was in a meeting and I literally on June 17th of 2007, I went, this business plan is going to absolutely die if I try to go implement this now. It's never going to work. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to get caught up in something and I'm going to lose my shirt. So I had to can that. And then I was bummed, man. I was just down. I was out. And somebody said, well, why don't you come up with a handyman company? 1-800-CALL-CHRIS. So anybody calls you, then you just bring the landscaper, the dry cleaner, the maid service, the handyman. I said, I like that idea. A little too big. I'm going to scale it down and just do handyman because I kind of felt like we were going to have a little correction in the market, but I didn't see anything that we saw, of course. So I came up with the idea for the Trusted Toolbox and launched it in 2008 on April 2nd of 2008, right before the recession.
But the thing is, the best companies in the world, if you look at Fortune 50 companies, they were pretty much, I think 50 out of 50 were launched during depression, during recession, during the worst of times,
Yeah, exactly right. I actually, the reason I wrote my book is I kept joking. I said, hey, when I write my book, I'm going to tell everybody, definitely start your business in the recession so you can drain all your savings. Hey, definitely start something in the handyman world because it's really easy. Wrong. So everybody says, hey man, you're
nothing is easy.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. You always think the other idea is better. You always think the other guy is always ton it. We're all working really hard because it is a hard business to run. It's a hard business to implement, and it's been a hard business to scale. But that's been the fun part now. But those first 4 years were rough, bro. I'm telling you.